Hey guys!
Hello!
Welcome back to the Zilinski life. Today we wanted to do kind of what starting a brand new budget would look like if you're brand new to budgeting, especially right now being in a bit of a global pandemic and a lot of people being off work. I imagine there's probably a lot of people who suddenly have to
make some changes, potentially relying on a government subsidy of some kind versus their normal income. Maybe having to budget for the first time with a restricted influx of money compared to what they're used to. So
So I wanted to take you through maybe how you could start budgeting as a very beginner. I'm using YNAB, which is You Need a Budget, and I'll link to that down below. But you could do this on paper as well. The principle of it will be the same. The method is just a little different in how I'm doing it. But essentially in this video, we're going to cover needs versus wants. This is something I grew up hearing a lot of from my dad. He would always tell me every time I got paid, needs versus wants, Valerie, needs versus wants. What do you need? What has to get paid for versus what do you want? Because I used to always like to spend my money frivolously. And I still do. So when you open up YNAB, these are just kind of the default categories that they give you. I'm just going to cover the budget side of things right now because that's what this video is about. I'm not going to go through like how to add in your accounts or how to handle credit cards or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not a YNAB tutorial. It is a how to do a budget because that is a potentially super complex and intimidating thing for people.
Yes.
So we want to try to dispel some of that.
And we're going to really simplify this. So where it says immediate obligations, I'm just going to put this into needs. I'm going to rename it to needs. And then we're going to have another category called wants. And basically, we're just going to drag and drop our stuff here. So needs, obviously, your rent or mortgage would be a need. Your power, your water, your internet, your food, your transportation. Interest and fees would likely go under debt payments, like credit card interest and stuff. What else would you have in there? You might have...
medical?
Nope, I would put that under a sinking fund. I mean, I guess if you're in the States, maybe you'd have to have something under there for medical. Like if you had, like if you paid monthly for like your benefits or whatever.
Yeah.
In Canada, most of that's covered. So that would be a sinking fund for us. We know for sure wants would be things like, you know, your dining out, your entertainment. You might have I know for us, we have a separate category for subscriptions because they're, I don't want to say...
We have a lot of subscriptions.
I don't want to say they're a necessity because they're not. Most of it's like, you know, Netflix, Skillshare.
Yeah, it's all stuff that if we didn't have it, we wouldn't die. Our life wouldn't careen off a cliff or anything like that, but our lifestyle is built pretty heavily around it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of these other categories for now. Just so that we're not confusing ourselves. Actually, I'll get rid of debt payments too. I would put debt payments under needs. So you might have like an auto loan that you have to pay for. You might have your credit card interest. Like these are all things that you'd have to pay for. These would be your needs, right? So you would put all of the things that have to get paid in here. Wants would be your other things, like, you know, like maybe your Netflix could go in here. You know, or maybe you have, like us, a Skillshare subscription. These are all nice to have. These are wants, not needs. And then you could also do your sinking funds, which are still good to have. These are still things that these expenses are going to come up. You want to have money set aside for them. And that could be things like your auto maintenance.
Yeah, if you drive, you're going to have to do oil changes, get new tires, whatever, just the basic maintenance stuff that comes up all the time, but it's not necessarily a weekly or monthly occurrence. Yeah.
You might also have things like your medical and dental or, you know, clothing, stuff like that. Another thing you'd have under needs is probably gas. I know they have transportation under there. That always confuses. I guess if you took the bus or something, that would go under there. I'm just going to put it as gas. And so you would kind of go through and you would filter through what are my needs, what has to get paid, what bills do I have that have to get paid every month, you know, and then beyond that, you have to feed yourself. You have to... you know, keep the roof over your head and the lights on. You got to keep your water running. Like, those are all needs. They're non-negotiables. They have to get paid. If you're on a really tight budget, living off a lot less than you're used to, You have to do your needs versus wants list. You have to take care of what's the most important thing that I have to have. I have to have a roof over my head and food in my belly.
Yeah.
Two top things. And then maybe it's, my power's got to get paid and my water and my heat, and then after that it's okay, well, maybe it would be nice to have internet so I can, talk to my friends and family. Your cell phone bill would probably be under there as well. And you just you prioritize what needs to go in here. The next step you would do, and again, you would do this on a sheet of paper. I'm going to do it on YNAB. You would put in how much each of these things are. So I'm just creating a goal for each one. We know that our rent, let's say, is $1,000 a month. And our credit card, let's say we get charged $55 a month for interest. Let's say our auto loan is $250 a month. And you're going to go through each category and you're going to put in a goal, and I'll show you why after. We'll say our power is 60, water is maybe 75.
Cell phone, I think 250 was decent.
That's what ours is, but for most people, we'll say like 110. Most people don't pay that much for a cell phone bill.
I guess.
Internet might be $60, especially if you're in the States. Oh man, you guys in the States, you get awesome deals on cell phones.
Yeah, our friends to the south there do not get screwed on mobile nearly as bad as Canadians do.
Yeah, every time I watch a budget video of somebody who lives in the States and I see their cell phone bills, I'm just like, must be nice, like I wish we could get it that cheap here. Okay, I'm almost done here. If you're like us, maybe you spend a little more than $200 a month on dining out. Maybe you spend a lot less, but we spend a fair amount.
We spend a lot on dining out, especially we always dine out a lot anyway, way more than we should. But especially with quarantine, like one of the things that we do is pile the family into the car so that we can get out of our apartment and grab a coffee and go drive mostly just the ring road around our city just to spend an hour not in our house.
Okay, so once you have your categories and everything set up with your goals in each one, you're going to be able to see how much it's going to cost you every month. So if I went into needs and just selected all of my needs, it'll tell me I'm underfunded by $2,290. So my absolute must-haves, the bills that I absolutely have to pay, my bare bottom line of living is $2,290 a month. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe you get paid a little more than that. And now you want to include your wants. You can add in your wants and okay, well, with my wants, it's $2,500, just over $2,500 a month. Or you can uncheck your needs and look at just your wants. Your wants are going to cost you $273 a month. And then your sinking funds, so in our case, we just put clothing, medical, dental, and auto maintenance. That's $180 a month. So I know that for all of my stuff in a month that I have on here, I need to be making at least $27.43.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, this is not our budget. Obviously, if you've been watching our budget with us videos, it is twice that amount at least.
Pretty close, yeah.
But again, this is really good. A lot of people are going from making a very regular, very sustainable income down to nothing, or maybe just whatever your government's giving you. Like in Canada, a lot of people are getting the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, or they're getting their employment insurance, or some people are lucky enough to have jobs that are paying them like a retainer fee, basically, where they're laid off, sent home, but they're still getting a minimum paycheck, But whatever the case is, there is a huge percentage of people right now whose income has drastically gone down. And so if that is you, I encourage you to make a budget. If you're not already budgeting.
Yeah.
You have to know where your money's going, especially if you don't want to be racking up debt. Like we have a credit card, and this is going to be our next video. So we just paid it off. It's got a credit limit of $7,500. We've just paid it off to zero, and we're going to call and cancel it. We're just canceling it. We're gonna cut up the cards after this. I've got my cards. I've got my scissors. We're gonna call and cancel and cut up the cards, because it is really tempting, especially in a time like this, to just rely on your credit cards. It would be so easy for us to say, oh, we have $7,500. We're just going to live off the credit cards for now for whatever we can't afford in our regular budget. And then we'll pay it off.
It's really easy to fall into that trap of, even when we're paying off debt, I always like to pay off the credit card first, because you put $2,000 on a credit card, and if you put that $2,000 on your car payment, that money's gone. If you put it on the credit card, it's still there if you absolutely need it. And it is so easy to convince yourself that you absolutely need to use your credit card.
It's a trap, guys. It's a trap. Don't fall for it. So if you're struggling right now, you want to make a budget. And if you already have a budget, I encourage you to go through your budget, either on paper or in YNAB or Mint or an Excel spreadsheet, however you're budgeting. Go through your budget and figure out what you need every month to live off of. And chances are, for the majority of us, what we have our budget set up as is far more than what we're bringing in right now because we're all laid off and not working. So then you need to figure out what are your needs, what are your wants and nice to haves, and just take care of your needs first and just, go from there. And don't rack up any more debt.
Yeah.
Because that's not what we want to be doing right now.
Yeah, streamline as much as you can. If you can defer a mortgage, defer your auto loan, get a break on your electric bill or gas bill or anything like that, streamline as much as you can to make your money go as far as it can.
Yes. And just a note on that, you're better to defer your mortgage or your car payment and still pay your utility bills. And the reason being is that if you defer a mortgage or a car payment, they're just going to extend your loan. So you still owe that money, right? Just as you would with your utility bills. The difference is that they're going to move, that 1 month, 3 month payments, whatever it was, to the end of your loan. If you defer 3 or 4 months of your utility bill, well, guess what? It's just going to accumulate. You go from owing $100 to $300 to $600, and then it's all due at once. And that's going to kill a lot of you. So don't do that. If you're deferring a payment, okay, but if you have a company saying, oh yeah, just don't pay your cell phone bill this month, we're not going to charge you late fees. Well, that's great if you plan on just paying it a few days late or a week late, but if you plan on not paying it for 3 months and you're like us and your cell phone bill is $280 a month, we'll round that up. We'll say 3.
Yeah, I would hate to have just a random $900 bill when this is all said and done.
That's not a small amount of money.
Yeah, that would hurt in a big bad way.
Yeah, whereas, with our car loan, we could defer it for up to 6 months, and it's not like those 6 months of payments are going to be due all at once. They're just going to extend the loan.
Yeah, so if, our car loan would have been up in January 2025, it'll be up in June 2025.
Yeah. Exactly. Still not ideal, but, if you have to defer some payments, that's what you would want to do before you start deferring your utilities. Unless for sure, 100% that you can pay all of those bills when they come due.
Yeah.
And really nothing's guaranteed. For all you know, you won't even have a job to go back to. I don't mean to stress you out more than you already are. I'm just saying, you shouldn't depend on money that you don't have.
Yeah, definitely.
We've learned that lesson a few times.
We have fallen into that a lot. And we're trying really hard not to do it again right now with a trailer.
Yes. So now we're just kind of rambling. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to share, a very quick, if you don't have a budget, you need to start budgeting. Needs versus wants.
Yes.
Yes.
And streamline as much as you can.
Yes.
And be really honest about what your needs versus wants are.
Yes.
Because it's very common to I need my Netflix. I would go crazy without my Netflix. But, okay, yeah, maybe you'd go crazy without your Netflix or your Xbox Live. But if I had to choose between Xbox Live and Netflix and eating, one of those is a need because I will die if I do not do it.
Yes. But I hear our daughter waking up, so we're going to end this video here. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys are all doing okay, that you're adjusting to this new normal.
Yeah. And if you didn't get any budgeting advice at all out of this, hopefully we were somewhat entertaining.
Yeah. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if there's anything else you want to know, leave me a comment down below and we will do a video on it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll chat with you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.